Now, it might sound unbelievable, but I talk to visitors almost on a daily basis here at Green Aqua in Budapest, Hungary. A neurosurgeon from Italy, a pilot from France, a carpenter from the UK, the list is endless. And honestly, this is one of the best things that happened in my life, besides my wife. To have an impact on people from all over the world. And I am deeply grateful for that. Honestly, I am not the average YouTuber begging for subscriptions, chasing views, or channel memberships. Of course, those things are helping us, but that's not why we're here. Our goal has always been to bring the nature closer to you guys, to pursue our common hobby. We're halfway there already, we ship to most European countries, but for me personally, that was not why I'm doing this. What truly matters to me is the conversations that we have. This is why we built this channel. More than 600,000 subscribers, over 550 videos, 14 years of content, and with numbers like these, it's very easy to get lost in the details. It's also very easy to assume that you already know everything. And to be fair, most of our subscribers do, even many who watch without subscribing. But today I want to talk to somebody else. To those of you who just joined our channel, who just found aquascaping as a beautiful hobby. I have this small aquarium in front of me, and if you just entered the beautiful world of aquascaping and you value quality, this is something that you could actually start with. So regardless of whether you're new here or you've been with us for years, welcome to the beautiful world of aquascaping. Now, why did I say that this video is for you if you value quality? What did I mean about that? Well, you can build this layout in 2026 for about 400 to 500 euros. Obviously, you could make a small aquarium for much less, but if you want good technology, CO2 injection, good filtration, etc., I will talk about those things. You really need to approach this with a value and investment kind of mindset. I can speculate on me finishing this aquarium in, let's look at the time, guys. What time is it? In 2 hours. Obviously, we don't introduce the shrimp in it. The biology needs to cycle, the bacteria in the filter need to multiply, and you need 2 or 3 weeks. So I will come back in 2 or 3 weeks, and by the end of this video, tell you guys what kind of shrimp we chose, why we chose it, what do we feed them with, and how the whole ecosystem progressed in the first couple of weeks. Let's start. What hardscape you choose? Right now, I'm looking at the Hakai stones, which are, by the way, not the same like the Japanese Hakai stones that we've seen at Aqua Design Amano headquarters in Japan. I will use some of them, the smaller ones, in this aquarium, and I'm going to build an Iwagumi layout, which means a rock formation layout in Japanese. So you need to use an odd number of rocks when you're building a layout. I'm gonna put up my gloves and choose rock number A. Rock number A is the main stone, and I need like a big rock that would be the main rock of this. Rock number A is the highest, the biggest, the heaviest visual impact. Rock number B is the second one, which is a supporting stone to the main one, and it's like a little bit lower, and it is also smaller. And the third one is taking this composition and like antagonizing it or like pulling it to one side, which will, you know, open up this whole thing and make it look visually better. And you want to create a triangle shape, a V shape, an island, or something like that. Now, in the case of Iwagumis, I want to build a V shape today. No one has a dojo at home. If you visit Green Aqua, you can play around, get it photoed, and send it to you. We could do that. So I think that this main rock could work. The rock should be big enough, let's not break this aquarium. The rock should be big enough to actually go up almost all the way to the surface. So you always start with the size of the aquarium. A small aquarium, decision is made. Second step would be, let's decide on the filtration. Why is filtration important? You don't want to remove the floating particles from the aquarium. What you want to do is to get rid of the ammonia, which is a chemical that comes as a result of rotting organics within the aquarium. So you need a filter to provide enough volume for the filtering bacteria to decompose ammonia into nitrates. This is called the nitrification cycle. We have videos about filtration, you can check them out. You don't want internal filters. Why not? Because they will take up space in the aquarium. They will look ugly. They do not have the volume to grow bacteria. So you need an external filter. Ideally, an Eheim Experience 150. This is what we have below this aquarium. It works like magic. I want to build in the dojo. So why am I doing this? I might want to play around and I don't want to scratch the glass and I don't want to hurt this little aquarium. So where's the aquarium? 36, 25, 22. Perfectly the same. I'm lucky today. Every stone has one face.
Every stone has a face.
So every stone has a main face. So every stone, the one, but we don't have faces in our backs, guys. Every stone has a face. Just like humans, stones have a face, a nicer face. This is the best part of this stone for me. Look at
Nice
this.
surface.
Shut up, I'm doing the video. They're all helping, don't help. Okay, so actually this side is best for this. Other than that, maybe we have this bulky big one, which is really interesting, but it will take up a lot of space from the surface area of this aquarium. See? So let's try this one. And now I'm working with my back, with the back towards you, because I want to see how it looks. I do not want to bring this up all the way to the water surface, so the top of the aquarium will be somewhere here. So you will have the top of the aquarium just above the golden ratio point. Actually, we have a great Iwagumi video with Tommy explaining all the different namings for the stones and the arrangement of the stones. Check that out. So how do you arrange the rocks? I would recommend you to study other aquariums. Look at the Green Aqua channel, look at all the different builds done by different aquascapers, including Tommy. He's very good with rocks. If you want to get inspired, you will have tons of inspiration, and don't be afraid to copy. The layout composition, however, should have some visual rules. And we have a tutorial on all that, surprise. So check that out and you know more about how to use that. Is this going to be too big for this aquarium? Is it gonna take up too much space? No, I doubt it. This is a common mistake that many beginners do. They are buying rocks and hardscape that is absolutely too small for the aquarium. You want the aquarium to not feel crowded, but to feel good, balanced, and for that you need higher stones. I'm going to use a supporting stone for this now. I'm not going to keep that there. 20. So we have 5 more centimeters to the water level. I will lose 1 or 2 centimeters to the clay-based soil and base layer fertilizing substrate. Once you have the filter selection, you need good quality filter media in it. So if you have a good filter, but you do not have the good filter surface in it, you have troubles. Filtering bacteria will not live on a big surface, so you will not have enough bacteria. Decomposition goes down, ammonia is not decomposed, you will have algae. So good quality filter media. We have Seachem Matrix in our case in this aquarium, but equally good the Eheim Substrate Pro or ADA BioRio. If this goes all the way to the back glass, let's support it again with something else that we're not going to keep there. You see that this supporting stone is not as heavy visually as the main stone. It forms the V shape already. It shows its face a little bit more towards us, so you could actually see that texture in it, which I quite like. And it's thin, so you're gonna be able to plant around it. And with that, we need to finish this with a supporting stone. Right now you have the center of the V shape, you have the center of it in the center of the aquarium, and that is dull. You don't want that. So this needs to be pushed to the right side. And then have the supporting stone pulling the structure to the other side, to the left side a little bit more. So A, B, C. How do we fix these A and B stones? What I'm going to do is just glue these together. Now in Japanese culture, when you're talking to the ADA Suikei creators, they never use glue. I'm lazy, I'm quick, so I'm gonna just use the super glue and fast fusion compound combination. Now another restriction that we have in regards with this aquarium is that, at least in Europe, we're not allowed to keep fish in small aquariums that are below 30 liters. This aquarium will only accommodate all kinds of shrimp. Why wouldn't I advise you to go for like 60-liter aquariums, which is the ideal size? The ecosystem is big enough because the technology is already much, much bigger, more sophisticated. It comes at a higher price. This one, however, comes at an affordable, approachable price for a beginner who values quality. Check this out. I found a couple of wild rhino stones in the back which have almost the same grayish color. I'm gonna move it here and then hold this rock to support it. This will be below the level of the soil. I will put some fast fusion compound because I want like a bigger contact area. And move on to the second rock. Put as much fast fusion compound as you can in there and be generous with the glue. I don't mind that the glue is like there on the rock because it's not going to be visible from the front anyway. And then I can glue the bottom as well. And then take the second one. See this? That needs to be also glued together from the bottom. I'm turning it so that the glue doesn't drip down. Now I'm done with gluing. So I can get rid of this. This aquarium can be on your desk. It can be in your kitchen. You can fit it in a small dark corner in the living room. So this is not something that wants to be the centerpiece of the living room, but it could be if it's well lit, hence the good choice of lights. If it's well lit, you need CO2 because plants will photosynthesize, and under the water without CO2 you will only be able to keep a couple of plants that are having a slower photosynthesis. So this is something that you should always keep in mind when you start. Do not forget the pad, guys. Again, that is very important. You don't want the glass to have any tension at the bottom. Let's put in the ADA Power Sand Basic S. Now this is a base layer fertilizing substrate. This is good for the roots and it is good for the filtration. And you want a good filtration for the soil. I will take it and distance it from the front glass a little bit so that it is not visible, and doing the same with the side glass. So once you fill this up, zero of this will be visible. You have three types of additives right here from ADA. You don't have to use them if you're using the Power Sand Advanced. Clear Super, I will just sprinkle it on top. Next comes the Bacter 100. This will help with the cycling of the aquarium. This will add beneficial bacteria that will help you with the filtration. Tourmaline BC, this is a crystal. It will help with the general health of the soil and also the bacterial growth as well. What next? We need clay-based soil because that, one, will help with the filtration. Filtering bacteria will live in the soil. Two, it will help the plant growth. If you want a uniform carpet, you need clay-based soil. Plant roots really love being in clay-based soil. They don't like being in pebbles or in sand or in any other kind of inert substrate. I'm going to take the Amazonia version 2. I like the powder version in small aquariums because it looks more delicate. This already had some soil additives in it because we used that before and I probably removed it from an aquarium. I don't want to put more in at the moment because I want to actually introduce the rocks. So let's start with the main rock number A, and I will try to put it more to the right side of the aquarium. I will leave a gap of probably 1-2 centimeters. Establishing the technology is easy. You either listen to me or you don't. Okay? If you listen to me, you already have a list of what we're using in this aquarium, what you have to do, put it in your shopping cart. If you live in Europe, buy it from Green Aqua. Thanks for the support, shameless plug. But anyways, don't play out too much with the hardscape because if you like procrastinate, you will never get it done. Don't try to be perfect. Practice makes the master. How did I do that? I already forgot. I should have taken a photo. I was trying to put it in a completely different way. So this is the way. This is how it's supposed to come in. Water level is about 3 centimeters above it. This one will go something like there. I almost cracked it. CO2 injection. I talked briefly about this. Photosynthesis needs carbon. Plants will uptake the carbon from the water. There are many types of CO2 injections. You could choose the citric acid based one. That's what we have here. You could choose pressurized one. That's what we use in most aquariums at Green Aqua, but you need to stop that for the night. And this is very important. If you cannot stop your CO2 for the night, like if you have the yeast-based system, for example, you cannot stop that. If you don't do that, the CO2 levels will be high during the night, and plants do not photosynthesize during the night, so they don't need the CO2. They need CO2, however, during the day. So if you have a high level of CO2, plants will uptake it, it's cool. What happens in the night, the CO2 levels will increase, it will hurt the livestock, so you don't want that. You want the timer and the solenoid valve, and you want to stop the CO2 for the night. We ran out of space quickly. Actually, it was looking like this, so we're okay. We just need to make this lean down a little bit more. The base layer fertilizing substrate is out. That's what I talked about. This aquarium is visible from this side, so I want to ideally keep this lower, and I could raise this side because that is not visible. So this corner can be elevated a little. See how I raise it, and then it's better. I forgot to tell you about the surface. We have an open top tank here, which means that the gas exchange is not obstructed by anything. We do not have a closed top. It's not going to heat up. The gas exchange is enabled, so this is a good thing to have, an open top aquarium. Okay, so I think that the hardscape is ready. Now I'm planting it. I'll spray it with water, and I'm gonna use the Monte Carlo for this one, because Tommy has been using the Eleocharis in other Iwagumis. Before we move on, I want to show you the in and out flows. And this one doesn't have the skimmer on it, but like having a surface skimmer, a device that cleans the surface, is very important, because you want to get rid of the surface scum. You can buy a glass inflow that has a skimmer with it. Ideally, you could put all of these in one spot. In a small aquarium even, it's better. So these guys will live on this side of the aquarium. You could move them forward or backward. We will see how we arrange it. So when you're building a small aquarium like this, it's very important to plan for the in and out flows in advance while you still didn't fix anything in place. What kind of plants will I use in this aquarium? Now, if we're staying with the Iwagumi style at this time, we will use just one type of plant. I will use Monte Carlo. If you do not have CO2, you can choose like something like Marsilea hirsuta, but the Marsilea's color is darker green, so it will not pop, it will not be that light, and also it will probably not form a uniform carpet, so it will not cover the clay-based soil perfectly. Ideally, in an aquarium, you can only see the clay-based soil when you're looking at the front glass. So now you see the issue. We have a couple of base layer fertilizing particles. I'm just going to remove them for now. These are lab plants. They will survive a couple of days after you bought them. We can ship them everywhere in Europe. One is ready. I will take a chunk, a bunch, hold it, press it down. Too big. Now, having good tweezers to plant is very important, because otherwise you would be pulling out the plant after you planted it. Push it down, and I wiggle it a little, and then removing the tweezer, and the plant stays in. What I'm doing also is sometimes I'm just pushing down the plant and removing the tweezers like that. How dense should you plant? So usually I'm planting very densely from day one. I thought that this also helps the biology. which is true. So you should ideally plant as densely as possible. Plants will uptake the ammonia, which is inevitably coming in the first couple of weeks. You have ammonia spikes. This exactly one pot there. It's easier to plant in the back where the soil is higher. I just didn't want to use more than this much. And you should cover the base layer fertilizing substrate with at least 3 or 4 centimeters of soil. That is very important. If you don't do that, the base layer will leach nutrients into the water column and you can get algae. I was struggling with planting in the foreground because I have just a tiny amount of soil there. You want good quality water. This is why you do water changes, to help the filtration, to reset the plant nutrients that you have to add. Ideally, all these plants that we are using in all the aquariums are from the equator, from that region. They have clay-based soil there. They do not have hard water there. So plants will not thrive in hard water. So you have to soften the water with a reverse osmosis system, and you have to remineralize, because like 0 H2O, like with 0 things in it, it's not cool, okay? You need to add back a little bit of the things that you took out. So with 2 pots, I probably took 1/4 of the aquarium. So we're gonna have 8 pots. There are 2 types of lab plants. These do not have any pests in it. There's a plant tutorial, by the way. And the gel can be liquid gel, which is easier to clean, or like this gel type gel. We call it agar. We have a video about Tommy walking around in the tropical premises in the greenhouses and labs in Denmark. That is a great video, check that out. Probably we have a video about everything that I'm talking about here, a separate video, 2 hours long. See how the whole layout has changed now that I planted it? What I observed is that plants are softening the layout. Let's finish the front. Let's move on to the next topic, is the lighting. We have a Chiros B30 above this aquarium, which is not an RGB light. It is a white light, and it works perfectly if you have green plants and stuff like that. So this will increase the clearness of the view, but it will not boost the colors. So if you want to boost the colors, you should choose an RGB light. And what kind of light should you choose? It depends on whether you have CO2 or not. So right now we do have CO2, so we can afford about 65 to 75 lumens per liter. Most lights can be dimmed, so do not be afraid to choose something like stronger. Again, another video, another tutorial, not gonna get into details. Many people will stop at this point and say, okay, but now you're talking about a lot of maintenance, right? If you're not able to change the water, trim the plants, and sustain your aquarium within, let's say, 30 minutes to 1 hour each week, you're doing something wrong, okay? So we have videos on maintenance, and I'm gonna keep referencing other videos so that you know what I'm talking about. So you really can do and will not be hurt by doing maintenance on a regular basis. Don't be afraid of it. Thousands of aquascapers do it. We do it. This is pot number 9. I went over the budget, but I really want to plant heavily. I think you can get by with just 4 or 5 pots. Okay, last push. This is in. All that remains to be done is to show you guys what I did. I am ready with planting. I will come back in a second. It's going to be a second for you. It's going to be 3 weeks, 1 month for me. Let's see how this progressed, how the shrimp were introduced, and what do I think in general about this, and more importantly, what Tommy, the Iwagumi expert at Green Aqua, has to say about this. 1.5 hours, completely done, this one, okay? Not an issue. The more you do it, the better you will be. We are here 3 weeks after the last shot, and as promised, I asked Tommy, the Iwagumi master of Green Aqua, to help me talk about the layout a little bit. So what do you think?
So you know that when I give my opinion, I can only critique work.
I'm okay with that.
That's my only way to do it. First of all, you've managed to choose the most un-Hakai pieces of Hakai stone we had. You don't have the texture, those shapes, the roundness, the small dents. So that's a bit strange, but nonetheless, these are beautiful stones. So that's not a problem, just not really providing the Hakai feeling. What is...
Truth be told, most of the stones are this big, and I would just put one stone in.
Yeah, I know, we don't have too many small pieces at the moment. By the time the video goes out, we should. But yeah. The other thing, what's like for the scape itself, what's bothering me a bit is the big gap. So if I look at the ratios, the split of the tank, this gap here, that small and that small, that's like you have 2 big gaps on the right side and 2 small gaps on the left side.
It's off balance.
It should be balanced, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that's it. This tank always looks good.
I know.
I mean, no matter what we build in it,
I know. I love that.
Small, whatever this is, mini M, or I don't know the size.
The proportions are perfect. Actually, I love the non-RGB light above it. It gives it a fresh look.
This layout is great. And yeah, the CRS shrimps just completed. So nice job overall.
Thank you. And actually, we are feeding the shrimp with the Green Aqua Best Bite food. We have the magic veggies and also the daily shrimp food, which is really cool. And the colors are gonna come up nicely after some time. And they also look good because they're not hiding behind the plants and everything. They don't have many hiding places, but they don't look stressed to us. And
yeah, they seem to enjoy their...
I hope I'm gonna have like small shrimp in this. That would be nice. Oh, and also the Monte Carlo has grown up nicely. I don't see any algae in it, and it looks really healthy. So this is how a SodaStream CO2 injected normalish light aquarium small jewel would look like in your home. So this is quite approachable, and yes, you can do it for the 450-400 euro budget if you have that.
And before we get any issues out of this, if you are watching this in 2035, inflation has probably gone up. This is 2026 for the 400-450 euros. But yeah, that's amazing to do a high-tech setup, not top of the shelf, but a perfectly good, nicely working setup for that kind of money.
So overall, I think this is a nice little jewel. Aside from the small Iwagumi mistakes, as I said in the video, it's very, very difficult to make in a short time a very simple Iwagumi layout because you just have so many elements to work with, and that would be, you know, very difficult to do. When you have many elements, a lot of wood, rocks, then you can, you know...
Those hide the mistakes.
Absolutely, yeah. Those will hide the mistakes.
And here there is nothing to hide, so...
So we got nothing to hide, and you guys have nothing to hide. If you want to comment, let us know what you think. And if you want to see the layout of
the previous layout in this setup, you can find it here. Goodbye.